This time on Kawaii-Fi Radio, we learn why we don't have a Starbucks.
The West Australian people opposed having a Starbucks here, and then they were like, yeah, we're never going to ask again now.
You're kidding.
They were like, no, we have a dome. Why would we want a Starbucks?
Oh my god! We discover a boy band is coming to Perth. Backstreet's back, alright?
Could they leave, please? Everybody, bugger off.
And we develop a new rating system for the Reincarnated as a Slime movie.
Our rating system is now based on fandom.
Ava launch!
Tetsuo! Kaneda!
Onita?
It's over 9,000!
Nani?
Configure the language logic interface for Japanese.
Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi.
Kawaii-Fi Radio!
Konnichiwa and welcome. You're tuned into Kawaii-Fi Radio, the podcast we dive into the world of anime and manga. I'm Kyle, and joining me is Tifa and Kenny. How's everyone doing?
Been a while.
Yeah. You're alive.
Yes,
I know, right?
Happy New Year.
No, it isn't. What the hell is this decade?
2023.
It's a threequel, damn it.
The third year of disasters.
Third year of 2020.
So this episode, we've been to see That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Slime, the movie, Scarlet Bond. My God, there was a lot of references to red in that film.
Yeah, there was.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was sitting there going,
Oh, so that's what the title was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the bond between the two red-headed ogres. That's it.
And the red crown thing as well.
Yeah.
And
the red this and the red that.
did they just come up with the title first?
Yes.
Seems about right.
So we'll be getting stuck into that. We've also got some news about upcoming delays to anime and dubs coming up in the news as well. But first, let's talk about what we've actually been watching.
I have no idea how old I am or where I came from.
Nani? Ohio?
Hang time! I gotta go!
I have to know. Hooray! I did the thing.
Oni-chan, nani wo miru? What we're watching.
Feels like the fastest we've actually got into this segment in ages.
I was just thinking that. It's like
2 minutes in, damn it.
we didn't talk a lot of trash this time round.
We saved a lot of that for the Patreon, of course.
Yeah, for the pre-show. That's something I should say. Join the Patreon. $1 a month gets you 2 extra episodes a month for the pre-show, which is uncensored trash talking. And this week we talked about
one of the greatest movies
The
of all time.
Oscar-nominated Puss in Boots.
Yeah, freaking exceptional.
I don't understand why it's that good.
Yeah. Also, we talked about the tragedy that is Crunchyroll in Australia at the moment. So, yeah, that's a good laugh. Also, like, Australians don't like change, apparently.
This is true.
We just apparently,
Especially WA people, because we don't have a Starbucks here.
oh my God, I want a Starbucks so bad.
Because the West Australian people opposed having a Starbucks here, and then they were like, yeah, we're never going to ask again now.
You're kidding.
No, this happened like ages ago, like decades
Oh my
ago.
God.
They were like, no, we have a dome. Why would we want a Starbucks?
Oh my God.
And now,
I'm
like, everyone
so
that's a Gen Z
angry.
is like, excuse me, where's my Starbucks? What do you mean we're the only place in Australia without a Starbucks?
Maybe we just need to send Starbucks a letter. Dear Santa Starbucks, for Christmas, I would like a West Australian
Apparently,
branch.
Starbucks just doesn't make much money in Australia, though. So
Yeah. That is also like the issue. Like, I noticed that last time I went to Sydney, there weren't many left. Like there are a few, but they're only in very extremely high traffic locations.
there's still heaps in like Melbourne, though, like
Yeah.
a lot in Melbourne, which I think is quite interesting. But I think
Yeah.
more people buy the Starbucks merchandise than they buy actual Starbucks.
I mean, you're not wrong. Unless it's the what's it called? The pumpkin spiced lattes. Like,
Aaron's favorite.
Aaron's favorite. Woo, white girl Aaron.
Aaron is such a basic white girl.
Also,
with a
we
fabulous
love Aaron.
beard.
Aaron,
fabulous.
we love you. Aaron couldn't, because he was away on site, couldn't get to see the movie, so he's literally going tonight, I believe, or tomorrow.
Hey, Aaron, we're going to spoil the whole thing for you. Keep
Yeah.
listening.
Don't.
Yeah, stop listening.
So, what we've been watching. So we're gonna start from the oldest and work through to the new season because we've kind of been doing some back catalogue work over the Christmas break. So I'll go off first because I watched Birdie Wing and that came out April last year, I think.
Yeah.
April or June.
There was a lot of hype for it then.
Yeah.
And this is an anime about underground golf tournaments.
Yes and no. So it is
Golfing
about
girls.
Golfing girls. So it's Birdie Wing Golf Girl story.
Yeah.
It's about... I think the way I described it earlier is probably the easiest way to explain it. It's similar to Banana Fish, not in like the sort of like dodginess. It's not that dark, and not. I mean,
Are they
actually,
lesbians?
it actually is kind of a bit gay in a similar thing.
Well, I think that's a tick of approval from Tifa.
So you've got these two girls who are from very different parts of the world. You've got the main girl, Eve, who she lives in the slums of a city. It's very clearly based on like France, but it's a European country that doesn't exist. And she plays underground golf betting with rich people who think they can find people who can beat her. And, you know, that's basically how she gets the income to support her adoptive sisters, if you will, and the kids they're looking after in the slums. And she then meets a girl from Japan who's like an up-and-coming star golfer who's, I'm assuming they're similar ages, around 15, 16. And she ends up making her want to actually really play golf, like as opposed to, you know, just beating people for fun. And it's basically the story of these two unlikely people who love playing golf together, but who are separated by different worlds. The rich golf girl has got other things to deal with because of her family being pro golfers as well, and the school she's associated with. And Eve, the main girl, has a whole load of things to do. Actually, no, actually that's probably the wrong comparison for Banana Fish. It's Megalobox. Rags to riches story. To, you know, they've met, they've boxed each other, and they want to, you know, they've fought each other, they want to fight each other again. So the girl who's underprivileged has to find a way to get up into that part of the world.
All right.
Okay.
And once again, just like Megalobox, there's elements of corruption and crime. People die in this series.
This is a golf anime.
It's golf.
and
Well, they play a golf game. It goes a little bit sci-fi here. Like, they play a golf game on a randomly generated course owned by the mafia, and it's literally like, you know, shifting like things on giant tractor wheels, and it generates a random golf course.
Okay, I thought you were going to go like it's like Gundam and they have holographic terrain or something.
No, it wasn't that fancy. But
finally...
it is literally underground, this golf course as well, like 20 floors underground. And they're playing for the rights to the areas of the slums. So whichever mafia group, they select a golfer to play for them. Whichever mafia group wins gets the deed to the land and can build the casino. So yeah, that's part of it. It's wild. But yeah, and there's a second season coming in April.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I need to watch it. And Tojiko,
They're
one of our
going to the
Patreons-
Mafia Nationals.
Yeah. Well, the thing is ever since watching Saki, the Mahjong one, going to the Nationals has kind of been a bit of a joke between me and Kenny for getting together for two girls. It's.
Saki was so blatant.
It was like Saki was basically Yu-Gi-Oh but Mahjong. It was like, you know, what the heck is going on here? But anyway,
I remember there being a character that was obsessed with tacos in it.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yes.
It was a very odd series. But yeah, look,
I need to rewatch
I
it.
actually can highly recommend it. Like Tojiko, one of our Patreons, was asked me, you know, have you watched? And I went, I haven't really checked it out properly. And then I had to send him a message on the Discord and say, I'm so sorry. This is actually fantastic. So I'm 9 episodes through. I've got 4 left.
Maybe he can just hold us to account, like stuff that we missed, and so you can say, "Look, you missed this. Do it."
But this was all triggered because of you, Tifa. Because we're going to play mini golf for like a YouTuber get-together thing.
All right.
And
little content creator thing, and I was like, well, I mean, mini golf, birdie wing.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a good combo. And the funny thing is, as well, is that the place we're going has glow-in-the-dark golf balls,
Yes,
which
they do.
also kind of look a little bit like the power shots the girl from Birdie Wing does.
Oh,
So there you
that's
go.
cool.
There. Well, ignoring golf, Tifa,
As
you've
you
been
do.
playing catch up with Bocchi the Rock.
I have, yes.
What'd you think?
It's very good. It's
Yeah.
it's a fun time. I already knew I was gonna like it,
Yeah.
but like it is a fun time. Yeah, all the girls are best girls. Don't believe what people say on Twitter.
Yeah.
All the girls.
I never
All
do.
the girls.
Especially the blue-haired girls.
Yes.
The
I forgot her name, but I love her. The
Yeah.
blue-haired girl. That
They're
like,
color coded, so you can just
Yeah,
go with their
yeah,
hair.
yeah.
Yeah. No, actually, who was it? Gigurk doesn't like slice of life anime.
No,
Heresy.
that's not true.
Well, no, he
It's
said,
not true because
he
his
said-
favorites are slice of life. But like Giguk also likes Aramanga Sensei and Orimo and
Yeah.
but he doesn't like things like Toradora.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I think
he
this
doesn't
is a
like.
certain area of
He
slice
doesn't
of
like
life
cute
he
girls
likes.
doing cute things.
Yes, yeah.
And this is the first time where he's watched
Mm.
an anime and said, actually, I really like this because of the
I-
way it
yeah.
Showcases
I don't think
anxiety.
it's just like cute girls doing cute
It's
things.
not.
It's like it's cute girls, but it's like real life. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like you get those like Manipixic dream girls, like that sort of thing,
Yeah.
where it's just like, oh yes, and they live in their adorable little bubble and blah blah blah. But it's like, yes, these girls are quite adorable and they're your main character girls. That's what they look like, but they're going through actual things in life,
Mm. Yeah.
and it's
They're
yeah.
dealing with real issues, which is good. But yeah, I really like Bocchi the Rock.
I also think the dad is also best boy. He was like so good for monetizing Bocchi's channel without her even knowing, and then making sure she would have money there for whenever she needed to buy a new guitar or anything else. And it was like
It was such a
perfect.
nice little.
What a
treat
colossal
at the end.
Chad.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
No, I do you actually? I can't remember because it's been a little bit since I watched it. But do you ever actually see the dad's eyes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he just looked really plain for a while there.
Yeah.
He was a good dude though.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
I also like that her younger sister and her mum both have like pink hair as well. Like they
Yeah.
all look like a family.
They
It's not
look
just
like an
it's not
actual
just like
family.
the one girl has pink hair, like,
So
I mean-
pink is a natural hair color in
Yes,
this universe.
yes, in this universe.
But I mean, that's something I think it actually is with Birdie Wing as well. Like you see this
Mm.
girl, the Japanese girl, her mum's got blonde hair and her dad's got brown hair, and she's got jet black hair, and you're like, is she adopted? Because the mum,
Interesting.
her mum looks more like she could be the mother of of Eve,
yeah.
the main girl, who's an orphan. I'm sitting there going,
Oh,
this
plot twist.
Well, I mean,
Oh.
legitimately, hairstyles very similar, so that could be a thing.
You were switched at birth.
Quite possibly. But yeah, like I like it when there's that consistency and it's not just we made them this hair color for the sake of it and we're just going to
Yeah.
do whatever. So, look, Bocchi the Rock's awesome and it's highly recommended to watch it. I can't wait
Very
for
much
season
so.
2. Nothing's been announced yet, unfortunately.
The art style and the way they just occasionally go off the rails is just
Well, the
wonderful.
manga's the same.
Yeah.
The manga just goes completely off the rails for it, which is great. It's probably one of the most realistic representations of anxiety and depression and having mental health concerns that I've seen in a manga or anime ever. So yeah, no, it's really good. Okay, Kenny,
Hello.
you're watching something from this season.
Oh
Been
my
watching a
gosh.
lot of things. I finally caught up on Witch of Mercury as well.
Oh, the Gundam one,
I
yeah.
have so many questions about that show.
I mean, yeah, it's Gundam. Like that kind of comes with the territory.
I mean, yes, but it's
I love
more,
Gundam, but at the same time, like
it's more the meta ethics of how this whole academy works. They allow for sabotage and possibly murder.
I mean, I just wouldn't question it.
this is Gundam.
I try not to, but at the same time, I'm just like, how does this all work? But no, I finally started watching The Fire Hunter from this season. And very, very interesting, very bleak. It kind of puts me in the mind of like Dark Souls or Sekiro. I mean, not Sekiro?
No, well, Shadow Side twice,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
It's a very, very kind of a bleak world. Everyone is sad because something has changed humans. They cannot be near an open fire, natural or unnatural, or they will burn up from the inside and explode.
It's Fire Force.
Kind of, but minus the funky demons. Everyone is just
Funky,
moved back
funky.
to sort of like a
Primitive.
pre-industrial
Okay.
era. It's-
Actually, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
There are like motorized vehicles and stuff and fire, sort of, but it's harvested from the burning blood of these monstrous beasts that have started coming around.
You said there were no demons.
They're not funky demons.
Not
was the word.
Not the funky demons, more very much Dark Souls demons.
There's just the funky white boys.
They they bleed a
Backstreet
golden
Boys?
substance that burns.
Coming to Perth next month.
Wait, what?
Backstreet's back, all right.
Could they leave, please? Everybody, bugger off. So yeah, they are like the very, very start of the episode is that this girl, she is out in the wilderness looking for something, but you don't quite know what yet. And she is attacked by this hulking, golden-blooded werewolf and saved by one of these fire hunters wielding a black sickle, except he is slain. And so he leaves this sickle and his friendly dog companion to her. The dog won't approach anyone. It won't listen to anyone's command but her. And she has to take it back to these fire hunters.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty cool. Does he become the dog?
That'd be cool, but no.
Bugger.
But yeah, in the opening sequence, you get to see her holding this big black sickle like it was like a long sword. So there's going to be some Dark Souls stuff going on, and I'm here for it.
Nice. Well, there are plenty of really good shows to watch this season. Campfire Cooking in Another World.
So good.
Trigun, holy hell.
That's not the title of it, by the way.
Trigun Stampede. And, oh, my brain has just gone
Reincarnated as a Trigun in Another World with no stampede.
Trigun, the Stampede of Another World. And also, what was the other one I've been watching? I'm going to have
Nier
to...
Automata?
Nier Automata's was really good. A lot more low-angle shots than I was expecting. A lot more white on screen, if you will.
I don't know. I kind of saw it coming.
And what was the other? Oh, this is going to really annoy me. Both Fury, Vinland Saga Season 2, all excellent so far.
I need to catch up with that so bad.
Tomo-chan is a Girl, also excellent. Magical Revolution of Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady, hilarious.
That time I was reincarnated as an isekai title.
Yep. To Your Eternity still going. It's Don't Talk with Miss Nagatora Season 2, Handyman Saito in Another World, Inspector Season 2,
Yay.
Buddy Daddies, yeah, and Saving 80,000.
I'm kind of not a fan of Buddy Daddies.
Really?
That's fair.
I don't know. I feel like it's just trying too hard to be Spy
is.
Family.
I think the downfall of Buddy Daddy is the young girl. Because Anya has quite a personality, and Anya is...
amazing.
She's telepathic, right?
Yeah.
So she knows everything that's going on, but the other characters don't. So it gives you like a really good POV from her. Like, you know. But this is literally just a child.
Yeah.
This is a child that doesn't know anything, and she's like a little too innocent. So you don't get those fun comedic moments you get with Anya.
Yeah, which is a shame. And there's also the kind of the great show. Like there is so much this season. Like it's not funny, and I'm sure like.
There's so much this year.
Yeah, this year is going to be insane. It's like the first time that we've had it get back to a normal stance. But there are delays, and we'll cover that in the news. And that's all to do with COVID because it's not gone yet. So we will get to that. But first, I think we should probably touch on what we're actually here to talk about, and that is the Reincarnated as a Slime movie.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
We'll be there on time. There's 20 minutes of ads.
Cinema Club.
Oh yeah, and I watched JoJo as well. Finished season 1. So.
Oh my god, I only just finished season 1.
Yeah. Well, part 1 and part 2.
Yeah, but it's so long.
It's so long. And the dub is like, I want to slap Speedwagon's voice actor so bad.
In the Japanese as well, you want to slap him
Yeah.
so bad. Like,
just like I get like, what was it I saw the other? I think it was you said this, Kenny. Like people don't like listening to dubs because it's easier to read cringe than it is to listen to it.
it is pretty hard to listen to cringe.
Yeah.
What if all anime dialogue is just really cringe?
I mean, look, JoJo's is. Like, some of it really is.
Okay.
I love it, but it's
pretty bad.
I forgive JoJo for it because, I feel like that's how it's
the
meant
point,
to be.
though, yeah.
Yeah. It's how it's meant to be. JoJo is a little bit cringy, and it
It's
also
over
is,
the top and
it's
takes
also
itself...
ancient. Like,
Yes.
it is, like, I'm pretty sure the new series are not that over the top on their exposition. It's just the storytelling style has changed, and JoJo started in the 80s,
Yeah.
so like, and they were very, very faithful to their adaptation, so it hasn't aged well. Now, let's talk about what we actually need to talk about, and that's the Reincarnated as a Slime movie, Scarlet Bonds. Now, this is in cinemas at the moment, and I think if you're in the US and Australia at the moment, you should still have another week after this episode comes out to catch it. So, first things first. This doesn't feel canonical at all.
It feels like any other shonen anime's movie.
It does.
It's inconsequential
Yeah.
more than anything.
Nothing of any import happens in this film.
Yeah. Yeah. You're in the same place as where you started, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean-
there's no reason for it to exist.
I mean, like, I just mentioned the Naruto and Bleach kind of movies. They sort of like, they introduce a fascinating new land. They introduce someone who needs to be saved. And then they just sort of squat their pre-established characters in there and make them dance a little bit, and then they make them go away.
But even so, like some of the ones from, say, Naruto, for example, at least some of them were kind of emotional. Like even though the story wasn't canonical, or it was a mission. It's kind of easier with Naruto, I feel like, because they go on missions, right? And then that's
That and-
Well, Road to Ninja was pretty good. For instance.
Yeah. So like they can do these stories. It doesn't need to have an impact, but you're seeing another part of the world that is fine. But then this just didn't really give anything.
That and the Naruto characters aren't omnipotent.
Yeah.
They have an upwards power limit. They have their little Super Saiyan form, which they use in the last bit. But I mean, Rimuru from Reincarnated as a Slime, he's a god.
Yeah.
He has superpowers that trump everyone's stuff.
Look, I mean, Rimuru could have probably ended the final fight in the
Which
first couple of
I
minutes.
do think
Which he
is
kind of
quite...
did, but he just didn't know who to end in the last couple of minutes.
It was quite interesting because Rimuru in this film, spoiler alert, does have a small, it's not really that much of a spoiler, but has a little conversation with one of the new main characters that is introduced, which is a queen of a different land, and has this conversation about sometimes you can be selfish, and selfish is okay because that is what you're kind of expected to do. Like Rimuru is a leader as well as this person, and Rimuru has noted that they are very selfish about what they do and don't do. And I feel like if they explored that a little bit more, that would have been quite interesting because, as you say, Rimuru could end all of this very quickly, but chooses not to. As to why that is and what selfish reasons, like thinking, if they kind of explored that side of it, I think it would have been a little more interesting. But it's just your stock standard story with no real emotion. They try to make it seem emotional by the end, but you're like, do I really care? They're not gonna die anyway.
I have so much to say about the final bit, but I can't because spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, without spoiling the final thing, you kind of go, oh,
that's it.
oh, okay, all right, oh, okay, really?
Yeah.
Like it flips and flops three times where it could have just been like,
I think it was
there were
three
different
four?
like moments where it's like, okay, we can end that thing there, and then they don't end it there, and you're like, oh, okay, so we're gonna end it here, right? And then like, nope. You're like, okay, so now we're gonna end it here, right? Nope, we're still going. Okay.
Unfair to compare it to a superior product, but it reminded me very much of just like the constant endings of Lord of the Rings.
Oh my god.
It's just
what do you mean constant ending?
It's like, okay, we're ending it here. Okay, no, we're going over here to end it. Okay, no, we're...
The books
ending's
or
here.
the films?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough.
It's like it fades to black and then fades back in.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yes,
And so we're now at another scene because we didn't want to show you any more walking after the last three films of walking.
It just kind of felt like that with this movie. It was just like, it was almost faking out what the final ending was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame. Like I did, and you did say, because you caught it last night, that it was fun.
Yeah, it's definitely enjoyable.
Okay, like if you love Reincarnated as a Slime, this is going to be a lot of fun to you. I rather like Reincarnated Slime. I think it's one of the better isekais out there.
Of current times,
I don't think this was a great movie.
No.
It was still fun.
It was fun to watch. You know, walk, don't run to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, don't run because you might fall over.
And then you'll be reincarnated into another world as a Yu-Gi-Oh trading card.
Do you say it's a trading card?
Yes.
That was so specific.
Is this coming out
Is this
soon?
a fantasy of yours?
As of me saying it, someone somewhere has probably started drawing it.
That time I was hit by a truck and was reincarnated as a card in the Yu-Gi-Oh deck.
Help! That truck has flattened me. Christ.
All right, so let's do a little bit of stats about this because we haven't really explained what the film's about. But just like the series, it's animated by Studio 8-Bit, and the story focuses on Hiro, one of the orcs from the ogres, wiped out by the orcs. So one of the ogres.
Oh my goodness.
Orcs are the green ones that Blizzard ruined. No, wait, they're pig people in this one, the superior form of orc.
People.
Yeah. So
the ogres are the pretty people in this.
Yes.
Yeah. So the hero was sure he was the last of the ogres. He's from the same tribe as Rimuru and the rest of the ogres who we see in the series. So after the people were wiped out by the orcs, he's found a home with this small nation of Raja in service to their queen. However, things are not going well for the city-state, and a mysterious curse has repeatedly fouled their water source, and their queen's health is clearly declining. But when Hiro heads off in search of aid, he runs across the orcs responsible for the deaths of those he held dear in the nearby country of Tempest.
Which is resolved a little bit quickly.
Yeah, actually, that's quite solved quite a bit quickly, but I have real concerns for like the mental health of
Geld.
Yeah, like he was just so ready to die.
Well, he was in the anime as well,
Yeah, I
like in
know.
the series. He's always been like, I feel like I haven't,
I love him
repented.
so much in the side story one, in the short form one, where he's just shown to basically be the entire village's dad.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
So lovely.
I
I love Geld.
It's just, I would have actually really liked it if he'd played a more stronger role and was forced to fight alongside Hiro.
Yeah.
Like if they grew
Yeah,
to
that's
really
true.
have a good
That would have been
relationship.
kind of interesting.
It would have been a
too,
nice
yeah.
change. Yeah. But it's for a film. It probably could have been an OVA.
Yeah, it's like ever since Demon Slayer, Mugen Train,
Yeah.
everything has been a theatrical release, and this didn't need to be a theatrical release. Could have been like any of the other Naruto movies, all like 10 of them or whatever. Most of those did not go to cinema. They were just straight to
Yeah.
DVD sort of things, and they could have done that here. But
I
everyone
think-
wants a slice of the cinema.
I think it went full cinema so that they could have those big Sakuga moments, like, the tracking
Yeah.
shots down the mines and stuff like that.
Yeah, I have to admit the mine fight was kind of funny. Like, the mine carts, you're like, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I'm playing Mario Kart now. So this goes for an hour and 48 minutes.
Does it really?
Yeah, there is no post-credit scene or anything like that.
It's longer than Puss in Boots.
It's long, only by 2 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Puss in Boots definitely felt longer. There was a lot to go on the
Oh, okay.
including an accurate representation of panic attacks.
Okay.
Yes, that is the thing as well that people are praising about that movie. Just to go back to that little phenomenon, what
just
the hell?
just for context, in the pre-show, we were talking about the Oscar-nominated Puss in Boots.
And how it is mysteriously one of the greatest movies this year.
Look, I don't think it's a mystery. Like, everyone loves Shrek.
Yeah.
But, the sequels just generally get worse, and the last
the
two
Shrek
Puss in Boots
sequels weren't
movies are,
bad.
like,
No.
benign.
Yeah, but
And then this thing just...
was Shrek DreamWorks?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it would check out because DreamWorks don't release animated films very often. So when they do, they put a lot into it.
And they write the greatest villains ever.
Ever. Literal death.
What
Jason.
the heck?
But yeah, so it's an hour 48. It's action, adventure, comedy, fantasy, as you would expect from the series. But
Look, it's not terrible. It
it's
doesn't...
not,
No,
it's not terrible.
It's not
It's
bad
not
or
boring.
anything. It's
It doesn't
not
do
One
anything
Piece Red.
objectionable.
Yeah.
It's not One Piece Red, yes.
It's not One Piece Red.
It's
It doesn't
just-
overstay its welcome either.
No.
Which is nice. I mean, well, aside from the end, the one thing I do think that they could have done better with it, and this is just probably more a personal thing, is I think they could have just actually made it feel like it had a purpose.
Yeah.
Like, it's a nation which we haven't seen before. It's characters we haven't seen before. But they all kind of feel like they're inconsequential outside of the main cast.
Yeah, and like the whole nation itself does. Okay, it's a nation right next door to you. You've never heard of it.
Yeah.
It'll probably get a nod in a future episode for like 10 seconds.
I also think that, so they had, what's his name? The demon butler dude.
Lacua or
Diablo.
Diablo,
Diablo,
yeah. Because
yeah.
I keep wanting to call him Sebastian, and I know it's not Sebastian. That's Black Butler.
Because he's Sebastian with
I know.
proper demon eyes.
But like, okay, so he is a character within the anime that we haven't heard much about either, and we
Yeah.
actually see a fair bit more to do with him in
Yeah.
this film. I feel like they could have pushed that
they should
like
have.
a lot more and a lot earlier on as well, because
Yeah.
he kind of knows a bit more about what's going on here, and they
And he doesn't like
I
show
think
up until
it-
halfway through.
Yeah, like I think maybe if they did something a
He
little
does
more
play
with
an
him,
interesting part
then,
in it, though.
Yeah, that could have given us a bit more insight to him and made it seem a little bit more purposeful than it actually is.
And I
but-
suppose it does set up another player in who he
Yes.
goes to talk
Yeah,
to.
so I feel like they should. I feel like they should have maybe
I
done
kind
a
of
little
feel.
bit more.
I kind
like
of feel like the person he goes to talk to is not a player.
she is.
No?
The
Wait,
main
yes.
Oh,
In the light novel, she is.
in the light.
Oh.
Okay.
According to my mother.
Oh yeah, because your mum keeps giving you spoilers, doesn't she?
yeah.
Because
According to
you're...
my mother, this character does exist and is spoken about, but I don't know to what extent. But like, they could have actually done something more.
Yeah,
I thought with the primaries it would have only been the primary colours.
I see. I see. But you
Yeah.
know, black isn't exactly a primary color.
Yeah, look, but
So him
it is the
dabbling with
absence of
other,
light.
yeah, but him dabbling with others
yeah.
makes kind of sense as well. So
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, it does. But I have to admit, like Lacua was just like,
the villain,
yeah, the guy is just like
The obvious villain.
the obvious villain from the first 2 minutes of it, and then like the other guy who was like straight away you're just like, yeah, he's probably dodgy as well.
Yeah,
And you're like,
yeah,
there he was.
yeah.
I was the twist villain. To who?
I think it's a shame with like the idea behind the story is really good. Like the overarching story and what's happening within that small nation is really good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a shame that the way it was resolved feels a bit phoned in.
Yeah.
Because it's like, everything will end happy, and it's like that doesn't necessarily mean there won't be any stakes.
Yeah.
And they could have seeing as Fuse, the creator, helped write this. He could have used that plot device, which we know why that thing was used for, to actually, use that as a way to bring that character into the world.
Dodging
exactly.
spoilers here.
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, aren't I?
Yeah.
So those who've watched it are going to be like, oh yeah, I know what he's talking about.
yeah.
But there was a, I guess you could say, a path that could have been taken
Yes.
with this film to provide
A very obvious path as well.
Yeah, that could have been used to provide a backstory for a character who will appear later on.
Yes, and I think that if they had just done that, it would have leveled up this film like a lot more. Like it would just give it more purpose.
Yeah.
Tie it into the main thing with
Yeah.
more than just the cast.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have even swapped the person who
Yeah.
was replaced.
Yeah.
And that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
So, like, imagine Hero. Like, that just the dynamic of that
Yeah.
would have been phenomenal. But no. And
It just feels like this movie is missing something that
Yeah.
could have made it something better. Like, by no means is it a bad
Oh,
movie.
no.
It's a good movie. It's got an easy, simple plot that works really well. They just needed to push it a little bit
Yeah.
more so then you feel like it is a theatrical movie. It didn't really feel like that.
yeah, it's
know?
and it's a shame because like it could have been big. It could have been like Jujutsu Kaisen 0, providing context for the background of the world.
Yeah.
And like as we've discussed, Jujutsu Kaisen 0 doesn't need to be seen to still enjoy Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes, yeah.
But it's a fantastic film in and of its own right. And
Yeah, exactly.
This is a fantastic film, but like Jujutsu Kaisen is like an 8.5 and 9. This is like a 6.
Yeah.
Call it a hard 7.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like 6, 7. Like it's enjoyable for the experience,
Yeah.
but it's like you could watch this at home and still have the same experience. It's like as a film, it doesn't feel massive enough.
Oh, I'm talking about like a My Anime List 7 though.
Well, it's on
it's
My
in
Anime
the graveyard
list,
of.
Yeah. No,
well, it's on a 7.4 on
there
My
it is.
Anime List for just shy of 4,000 users. Now, that's bear in mind that only people are now starting to see it, so that will probably change a bit. And I'd be surprised if it doesn't end up on about a 6.8.
Yeah.
Because like it's good.
I mean,
But it doesn't have a rewatchability score that's very high.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And I've told you about my forays into the My Anime List catalog.
Yeah.
And how I've learned much about like an anime status, about where it can sit in there. If it's like in the 10 rating, yes, so good. 9 rating, yes, so good. 8, a lot of like your just standard good anime end up in 8. 7 is a strange sort of limbo of almost good. 6 is like, ooh, that was rough. But for something to be over 5 and be, ooh. And then as you get lower, it starts to become a nightmare.
Yeah.
Until you get to the lowest level.
Look, anything below a 4.5 is just going to be bad.
Yeah.
Because most people will give it the benefit of a doubt. And they'll go, oh, it's a 5. It's not offensive. If you go below a 5, it means it's offended someone pretty badly with something in it.
Oh, no, it's like 6 is the area you're talking about where it's like acceptable but bad. 5 is like, 4, 3,
You see,
2,
We need a keyboard of all these Kenny sounds.
yeah. See, this I don't think a 6 is a bad well, actually, I guess you're right. Like, yeah.
Oh, you should go into the list.
No, you're right.
Take the journey,
I
Kyle.
have been in the list and I've seen ones that are 4.8 and went, oof, that should be lower.
For an extra, we should watch The Worst.
I mean,
The Worst.
we could review one of them. It's got to be Velma.
Anime of the year, right?
The cabbage of shame of the year. It's not even an anime.
It's not even worth a cabbage.
No, like for those who aren't aware, the recent Scooby-Doo series Velma insults
It's
absolutely
not even
everyone.
a Scooby-Doo series.
I know, but
I mean, I know
context,
a lot of like directors and writers inject themselves into series,
But
it's just
This is blatant, and it's just like the person who made this is the target market. Nobody else.
No one
I
else.
don't even think the person who like made it is the target
Yeah.
audience. Really.
Look, but it is now lower rated than Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah.
Which says a lot because that was the lowest rated film on IMDb, and for good reason.
My
And
mum likes that. Sure.
my grandma was watching it as well. And she's like, "This is one of those shows you watch." I'm like, "No," and I left the room. I'm like, I do not want that to taint
Your
my
grandmother
eyeballs.
is a heretic.
Yes.
Hey, there's an anime title right there.
Yes.
Make it an isekai. Reincarnated in another world where my grandmother is a heretic.
Oh my god.
And the entire
40k anime.
well, I was thinking the entire family can be like shunned by society and they're trying to become like popular. Like that'd be amazing. I'd watch that actually. That'd be hilarious.
All right, I'm writing that one down.
Like imagine everyone's then trying to assassinate the grandma and they're trying to keep her alive because she needs to live for a certain period for them to get their inheritance. That'd be amazing.
Wow.
It's a death game, except that they're trying to prevent the death game.
Wow, look at that. Velma and Dragon Ball did something productive by giving us a funny idea to write. Thank you, Velma.
No.
You contributed somehow, incidentally.
No, it didn't. It didn't. So look, we've kind of touched on it, but if you had to rate it out of 10 for My Anime List, what would you rate it?
High 6.
High 6,
High
low 7.
6, yeah.
Yeah. I'm
I'll give it a 7. I think it was enjoyable and it was a lot of fun. And so Reincarnated as a slime, there's no real deaths in it. If there's a death or anything, it's going to be...
It's inconsequential.
Yeah, so everything... Like, no one really gets that badly injured that they're suffering from a lost arm or something like that.
And
they're just,
Yeah, going back to it, the main character has godlike powers. Not much is going to challenge.
Yes.
I have to admit, Hiro is probably the dumbest person I've ever met.
Yeah, but doesn't everyone like a himbo main character?
I mean...
Kenny says yes. He's got 2 thumbs up.
Well, I mean, yes to an extent, I mean,
usually when it comes to these kinds of movies that come off of an anime series, it's going to be a dumb himbo that's very attractive, obviously, and who is stupid enough that they need saving.
Yeah, he's just like that. It was so like the guy was so
bro, are you
obviously
serious?
bad. It's like, hey, follow me down to this dark hidden place that's looks like it's a massive warehouse from bloody what do you call it, Indiana Jones.
This
And
raises
there's
no red
definitely
flags.
No red flags here at all. Nothing dangerous down here whatsoever.
I still give it a 7 because it's like
Look,
it works within the realm and it's
universe.
like
It was
just as fun.
It was fun. And it was
It's
pretty.
enjoyable.
And it was enjoyable. I won't watch it again.
No.
There's no need to.
But it's not so bad I'd throw it out the window.
No.
Like,
I'd say if you enjoy the series.
I wouldn't warn people off it.
No,
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. That's it.
Yeah. You're going to it for the experience, for the enjoyment, just like an OVA. If you rewatch a TV series, you don't generally rewatch the OVAs of an anime.
It is
unless they really deliver something special.
It is a can of Fanta. You are not getting anything.
That's very specific.
Yes.
I need you to explain.
It's sweet. It's bubbly. It's inconsequential. You're getting almost nothing out of it. And no.
You're getting a sugar rush. That's it.
I mean,
basically, yes. It is
actually, no. That's actually a really good metaphor.
This is like the it tastes like blue situation all over again.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so there you have it from Kenny's own mouth. Scarlet Bonds.
It's a
can of Fanta.
Power thirst.
I'll also go with a 6.87. Yeah, it's not bad. It's enjoyable. I didn't regret seeing it in the cinina. I really didn't.
If it wasn't a theatrical release and I just watched it on DVD at home, I think I would have had a fun time as well.
Yeah.
Like, if that was the first time I was watching it.
I mean, look, like if you compare it to the most recent My Hero Academia film, the Hero's Mission one, this is 10 times better. Like, easily. They should never have made that film. It was so bad. It's enjoyable.
Is it?
No,
is it really?
It's not actually.
It's a can of Diet Fanta.
The Diet Fanta.
That's a thing?
Yes. You get Fanta, no sugar and stuff like that.
It tastes. It's similar, but it tastes kind of chemically, and you regret having drunk it, like My Hero Academia.
But apparently, it is good for diabetics. But
Well, I'm gonna call it Fanta Grape. It's chock load of prettiness, but then they spent they wanted to do insert songs, right?
Our rating system is now based on Fanta.
Okay, whenever we start doing live streams and we get like the Twitch chat and stuff, someone needs to make little Fanta emotes. So every time we talk about something, there's a different rated Fanta.
It's a different We're gonna have to come up. It's like a traffic light system with Fanta.
I give this 4 ginger beers out of 7.
3 out of 10 cats. Look, Scarlet Bonds, it's worth seeing if you get the opportunity to, but
if you're a fan
of the series, you're going to enjoy it. As a standalone film, no. This is purely I guess probably the easiest way to say it is to give fans of Reincarnated as a Slime something to tide them over until season 4 comes out. That's realistically what this is.
Oh my god, this was a filler arc.
Well, yeah. It's non-canon.
So basically, if your friend is telling you to go watch this and you've never seen the series, go watch the series so you at least have context of what this is going to be like.
It won't work, yeah. It's like people who went and saw the Demon Slayer film without seeing Demon Slayer.
What?
Actually, I know a lot of people that went and saw the Demon Slayer film without seeing Demon Slayer, and they said they were able to get the whole film and the whole series without having watched the first season, and they were like, this is actually pretty good, and then they went and watched the first season.
I mean,
actually, yeah, now that you mention it, it does work.
Like, it has a decent enough setup so you know the general rules of the world, and then they go into it.
Jujutsu Kaisen did that as well for Zero.
Yes, well, because Zero is set beforehand, so it's like they're going to set up the school anyway because it's a character that's never been to this school.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I can see it.
Actually, yeah.
But would you recommend someone see this as an introduction to slime?
No.
No. Just watch the series. Like, the series is so good.
Slime
I
is
feel like
fun.
you could watch like the first season of Slime and then watch this film, that's fine, and then watch the second season.
Well,
but at least if you
they
get the
do
first
reference
season,
stuff
you
that's
have...
happened with like the demon lords and stuff.
But I do think if you get the first season, then you kind of have the most context that you
This is true.
need.
I love how they just keep dropping Veldora in.
Oh yes.
He's like, oh yeah, hey.
Yeah. And he's
What?
just reading all the Kodansha mangas because
Yeah.
obviously
Speaking
it's
of
a Kodansha
random,
manga. Yeah.
it's just speaking of random himbo chads.
Oh yes.
actually, speaking of Kodansha, does that mean that this will probably go to Disney Plus?
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier as
Yeah,
well. I
probably.
was like, it's possible that the new season will go to Disney Plus. It's possible that the movie
Well,
will
the
end up
movie's gonna be on
streaming
Crunchyroll.
later. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. But it could end up on Disney as well because remember the Kodansha deal doesn't necessarily mean that for every single one it's an exclusive deal. It means that they will get it at some point. So
okay, so it's
some
not
of them
exclusivity.
can be exclusive, like Tokyo Revengers. They decided to do an exclusive thing. But something for, say, Attack on Titan could end up on Disney later if Crunchyroll doesn't already have it.
Well,
So,
look, I mean, I'm pretty sure Crunchyroll will have already had agreements in place for that.
but I'm sure Disney would try to get a
get it.
slice of
They'll
the
get a slice of
action.
it. They'll just get the non-dub version because
Yeah.
Crunchyroll creates the dub and they'll own it. Yeah. But yeah, look, Scarlet Bond's still in cinemas at this point in time of the episode going live, so go check it out. If not, likely Crunchyroll and eventually Disney Plus, in all likelihood as well. It's a good ride. It's a can of Fanta.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Tonight on Anime Communique.
Great story, compelling and rich.
Nothing brings ratings up like a little controversy.
Man, that feels like the can of Fanta rating system's going to come back to haunt us. I feel like it's going to end up getting used quite a lot.
What have I done?
No, it's brilliant. I love it. I can see it on the shirt, on a shirt. Like,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's a can of Fanta. All right, so
I
let's
rate this system as a can of Solo.
let's talk anime news, and we do have some bad news for fans of A1 Pictures in particular. There are delays. There are some seriously big delays coming in. So, first off, Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible is going to end its current run at episode 6 and start re-airing on in April from its first episode. So it's basically getting shifted back a season. This is because of the effects of COVID-19. Now, these
But
guys...
still going, the ride never ends.
Yeah. So, just for context as well, from memory, this isn't an A1, but we'll get to the A1 stuff in a minute. I'm pretty sure Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible was Dean, maybe?
I think so.
Pine Jam Studios.
Pine Jam.
Yep, Pine Jam.
Jam.
So they're going to be delayed. Nier Automata anime and is going to delay episodes 4 and beyond. It is the latest one that is being done by A1, which is being delayed. These COVID delays are also affecting Unite Up, which I don't really know, and Ayakashi Triangle, the Love Triangle one as well. There's a lot that Aniplex, and we were discussing this a bit earlier, have a tendency to go and do stuff at the last minute. So, they're still
Unfortunate.
very... It's Sony, they're very backwards. We did talk about this in the pre-show, but, they're still doing anime on a week-to-week basis as if they're basically dealing with a weekly shonen series,
Yeah.
and they can't do that anymore.
It's not necessary.
It's not necessary, and it shouldn't be done because the result is this, and you waste the money you've spent on locking in that time of the bulletin, and you waste money on the agreements you've made, and people mightn't then actually go and watch it. You basically devalue the product, so stop doing it. So yeah, look, because of that, we do not have a date for Nier Automata for it to return. It just is going to return at some point in the future.
A lot of people were looking forward to that one as well. A game tie-in
and
anime.
People were really
big deal.
getting into the anime. This is the point in which, because it's 4 episodes out, this is the point in which people start to really,
Well,
they've seen the reviews now. They've seen what it's going to be like. Other people are starting to watch at this point because there's a few episodes out and they've stopped, and it's just going to...
And if it goes by the usual formula, episode 3 is generally where the main plot clicks into gear.
And that's exactly what happened in episode 3. So they're going to rerun for Nier the first 3 episodes starting on January 28th, i.e. this weekend just gone. So episode 4 was meant to come out on Saturday, and it's now going to be, that would have been episode 1 again, and they haven't clarified if they're going to do 3 episodes in episode 4. I don't think they will. We also actually don't know how long Nier Automata was meant to be run length. It could have been 12, it could have been 24, it could have easily been 24 considering
but I think somewhere said that it was about 12. I can't remember where I read that though.
I haven't been able to find an official listing from them, but there has been like guesstimates. They guess everything is going to be 12 episodes until confirmed otherwise, basically, isn't it?
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, it's a real shame because it's actually really well done and it does follow the game very, very closely. The 3rd episode in particular was just beautiful. Just really well done, really well handled. All right, let's talk dubs because there's a load of anime dubs incoming. So Crunchyroll, who are pretty much the main ones doing dubs these days, aside from High Dive, Crunchyroll have announced that by the grace of the gods, Season 2, Ningen Fushin, Adventurers Who Don't Believe in Humanity Will Save the World, and Bofuri's second Season 2.
Yay!
Second Season 2. Bofuri Season 2. So Bofuri Season 2 will all be getting dubs in the coming weeks. So Bofuri will start its dub this week for Season 2. Ningen Fushin will premiere on Tuesday, so the day after this podcast goes out. And I believe By the Grace of the Gods dub is already now out, premiered, at least the first episode. We are also going to be getting the dub for Vinland Saga, which will air the same day this episode comes out, which is great. Vinland Saga Season 1 was a bit of a mess as far as the dub rights went. So Sentai Filmworks did a dub. But so did, like, Netflix at the same time.
Oh, that's a shame.
Apparently both the dubs are quite good. But the Sentai Filmworks one kind of edges it because it's just better quality casting and they're used to working with that stuff.
And Netflix is not.
Look, I mean, I think they're probably getting a little bit better now. But like just based on like the Neon Genesis dub, and they've actually, so Crunchyroll is doing the dub for Season 2, and they have kept the original voice of Thorfinn and the original voice of Canute. So they've brought them over from Sentai for this because I think there might have been union dubs, so they can work everywhere, which would be good. So they're again doing the. Actually, no, they can't be union dubs because High Dive is based in Texas as well, isn't it? Sentai Filmworks? Yeah, and they don't have unions in Texas.
What do you mean they don't have unions in Texas?
Well, they're against the rules, is my understanding. This is why a lot of companies move to Texas because they can't be controlled by unions.
Crikey.
Yes, but if the voice actor is from a different state, they can still be part of a union.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like it could potentially be.
But Sentai didn't do a lot of like remote dubbing, so. Yeah, I don't know. Someone will let me know in the comments. I'm sure, like if I'm well wrong on that. But my understanding was that in Texas, it's very hard to. Anyway, those two are reprising their roles in it, and they've got additional voices. Ian Sinclair is going to be Einar. There's John Swayze as Leaf, and. There's a lot of people who you'd be familiar with if you've heard Crunchyroll dubs before. So it'll be good. And also because Crunchyroll are now doing their dubs out of the old Funimation headquarters in Texas. So, not necessarily a good thing because I did find the...
Again, those are anti-union laws as well.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all incoming this week. So it's good. We're not going to get simul dubs, I think, for a while. I think simul dubs has kind of died for now.
Yeah.
And that's just the state that the world is in with COVID and the limitations of it. But let's talk about another film that's coming out. Kaguya-sama Love is War.
Hooray!
The film. The first kiss that never ends. It's going to release on a special 2-day screening sub in America, North America. So Canada as well. on Valentine's Day, February 14.
Very fitting.
I'm very impressed by that, and I hope they release that everywhere else. Now, if you aren't aware of Kaguya-sama Love is War, it's probably one of the best rom-com series we've seen in a very long time.
One of the channel's favourite shows, I will say.
And Tifa's done an excellent Kaguya cosplay.
Oh, thank you.
I have not.
Unfortunately.
Look, it's definitely worth watching. If you do like your rom-coms, this is funny. The dub for this is actually exceptional. And the series is just really well done. The manga just finished and it ended really well. I was really quite impressed by it.
It is absolutely hilarious. Go watch it now.
And then the last one, and this is a bit out of left field for us because it's not something we normally cover. So, Bakemonogatari, which is vampires and stationery.
This is an older one, isn't it?
It's an older one, but it checks out. So, the original series, Vertical is releasing the original novels in English and began releasing the manga in October 2019. The company describes the story. One day, high school student Kayomi Araragi catches a girl named Hitagi Senjogahara when she trips and falls down the stairs. But much to his surprise, she doesn't weigh anything at all. She says an encounter with a so-called crab took away her weight. Monsters have been here since the beginning, always and everywhere.
I'm sorry, you said that the manga for this was around 2019?
Oh, for Western release.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I remember watching the first episode of this years ago.
Oh, yeah.
It's a decade or more.
The manga entered its final stage in 2022 and entered its climax arc in 2019. So it went on hiatus in 2019 due to Oh Great's sudden illness and then resumed in September. So it's gone off and on and off and on. So the manga for Bakemonogatari is ending. And there's going to be... The manga is following the light novels, but there is now Ikusa Monogatari novel debuting as well. So the next... as my understanding is, the next arc of the story. A new novel in the series, yeah. So, look, this, for people who are big fans of the Monogatari series, they really enjoy this. It has had, my God, so many series and seasons.
And memes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It started in 2016. So the original series, Bakemonogatari story, started in 2016, served as the basis for the first anime adaptation in 2009. The novel series' final season ended with Zoku Owari Monogatari in September 2014, but then it featured a teaser for Monogatari series, the next season, Sugi Monogatari. Then there's 4 off-season novels as well, and then just like...
So there's a lot. There's just a lot
is
of
it
stuff.
Truly
it's like that.
Is it really that popular?
Yeah, it's huge.
I mean,
it's huge in Japan. Like, it's like
you
crazy.
hear about it, but never like to the extent as you mentioned, Fate or JoJo or anything like that.
Yeah. But well, I think it's also because this doesn't have a lot of supporting media. It doesn't have a game that could tie in with it. It hasn't got a mobile game.
What
or
even
anything
would
else.
the game look like?
I don't know. I actually have no idea. I could probably come up with some joke about stationery, but
we mentioned the stationery. Weightless lady throws random pencil case stuff at people to kill them.
Now, for context, Oh Great is the creator of this. They're the creator of Air Gear. They're also the creator of Burn Up, Junk Story, and lots of other little pieces. But Oh Great is actually a pretty great mangaka, and he's been around for quite a long time.
Yeah, him I've heard about everywhere, like in every single way. He does seem to be sort of a little bit of an industry rock star.
Yeah, he is. So look, he generally writes pretty interesting stories, and his
very interesting stories.
Well, I mean, Air Gear got wild at the end. Like I read that finally, and I still don't actually really know what happened at the end. Like read that last chapter multiple times. I'm still just not sure, but it was so fun getting there.
Just like what?
The journey for him is always better than the ending, from what I've read at least. But look, it's a series, Monogatari, that's worth checking out if you're into that sort of stuff. It's very much like your mystery sort of monsters and whatnot, not horror, and not like, creepiness. It's just really a really interesting take on it. If you like Inspector, you'd probably like Monogatari.
That's actually a very good comparison.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure the whole thing's on Crunchyroll last check, but I haven't watched it.
Who knows now?
Well, yeah, I mean, no one knows where anything is anymore. That's kind of the way it is, I guess. Yeah, I think that's kind of it, really, on the news front. Like, there's been a lot of interesting news the last week. There's a lot of new series which have been announced with their artwork. There's been a lot of different bits and pieces popping up, but nothing massive. Ooh. Oh yeah. Okay. Look, let's talk about this. Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop.
Creepy Boo Boo.
No.
Creepy Boo Boo. Cowboy Bebop's creator actually couldn't stand to watch the live action Netflix adaptation.
Yes, he was sent the first episode and he watched through the casino scene at the very start, and that's all that he could take.
Well, I don't blame him, because that was definitely the worst scene of the series.
I don't know. I thought that was actually kind of good compared to everything else.
Bad because like the actors are generally decent actors outside of this as well.
At least two of them.
To like, be put into a series that you're hoping you can do something good with, and then
look, I will go out on a limb and say the three main cast are good actors. Vicious's actor and everything else I've seen him in since has been really good. I think it was direction that was the issue there.
Direction,
and like
writing.
they just didn't make him like having rewatched the series since like the original series since then. Like, okay, Vicious isn't as creepy as I remembered him as being, but they could have made him really imposing.
Yeah,
like
That
I
was-
showed
he
in that video where I edited out all his lines, and he just is like this menacing figure. It's like,
We did have this whole discussion when we made it,
Yeah.
like, about how much better it could have been. But even the creator himself has come out and said no.
yeah. And it's a shame, because like Netflix keeps doing this. They keep saying we've got the original creators on board, and then the original creators hate what Netflix put out.
Well, that's
it's
the
like
thing. It's like they said the original creator was on board. They were not being very honest about that.
Yeah.
They had his notes, which they ignored.
Well, it's like so the Avatar: The Last Airbender, the
Yeah.
new series that they're doing for Netflix,
The creators
live
walked.
action ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, the like creators walked on that. So
Yeah.
and they made it known that they walked.
Yeah,
I
they
just-
made it very public, so it'll crash and burn.
I don't think Hollywood has a grasp on anime. This is kind of why
But it's not even Hollywood. It's like streaming services that are picking it up, right? Rather than
I mean, they are also
you know.
based in California, Hollywood, and
Yes.
just these
Tech Valley, yeah.
insular places. It's just like, I think one of the like most defining reasons why they don't get anime can be listed in the fact that Boss Baby won over Your Name at the Academy Awards.
Yeah.
They see animation not as a style or a medium, but they see like anime as animation equals cartoon equals for
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
Which as well, like, we don't need to turn all these animes into live action.
No.
They're
There's
their
no
own
need for
medium.
it.
There's no need for it at
Oh,
all.
I mean,
like,
look, I'll be completely honest. I reckon the live action One Piece is going to be a dumpster fire, especially based on One Piece Red.
I hear
I
there's
feel so bad for some of those actors that are in that because they're new up and coming actors
And
that are
they're
like,
excited.
they're excited. They like One Piece. They're all fans of One Piece, and I feel like so bad for them because it's probably not going to be great.
Very good, yeah.
I even hear they're
Yeah.
going ahead with the Naruto one and the My Hero Academia
Well,
one.
so the rights for Naruto were sold as a Hollywood film, I think back in like 2018,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I remember they were looking for actors, right? Young new actors. There were like worldwide castings, and then COVID happened, and so that could potentially be turned into a live action series rather than a film. So
It needs to just be a film. Like, a series will
just
be...
needs to not exist.
It will, yeah.
Stop with the live action. If
just give up. It's over. You've failed, America. I'm sorry.
There's like very, very few things that would work as a live action as well.
Yeah.
So it's just.
And if they would work as a live action, they need to be produced in Japan, where they have the cultural understanding to do so.
Like take Alice in Borderlands for example,
Yeah.
which is very well done in Japan with Japanese actors, but with a huge studio behind it, which is Netflix, right? They're the ones that funded the whole thing, especially the second season. The funding is so much more than the first, right? And some of the actors are obviously, some of them are very well known for being in the Japanese live actions, but they're very, very good, and it's very well done, very set within the culture. And surprisingly, this is one of the ones where the anime adaptation they did of the manga
Yeah, it was not as
didn't
good.
work out very well.
which is so surprising. You
but
you
it
almost
works
never hear about that.
so well as a live action. So it's just
Well, I think there are ones where it works. Like,
another example, Death Note.
The live action, the Japanese.
There is a Japanese live action in 2 movies.
I actually like the Japanese ones.
I love it.
FYI, Alice from Adisu from Alice in Borderlands. That's L in that live action. Same guy.
Wait, what?
Yes, same guy.
Oh, no way.
I was like, why does he look so familiar? Oh, it's my childhood
Oh my
crush.
god, he's
okay, that's
so familiar.
That checks out.
Oh, you just hurt my brain.
Yeah, I even watched L Changes the World, that one that they did. I have the novel of that, the light novel as well. And I watched that. Apparently that was filmed in 30 days in Japan. They just 30 days and done. It's still better than the Hollywood versions.
Yeah.
The Netflix
Well, that's getting... Netflix are doing another Death Note.
Yeah, with
Stranger Things creators.
Which won't be good. It just won't.
Just needs to stop. Why are we still doing the exact same thing over and over again, hoping that one of it will hoping that something will stick? Just choose something else. Just do something else.
Find
please.
something that works in a good
anything else.
Akira, I can't wait for that live action when it eventually happens. No, because it's got Taika Waititi on it. And No. Taika Waititi loves the Akira manga and he wants to adapt it exactly the same.
Just because someone loves something and wants to adapt it exactly the same doesn't mean it's going to work out well.
M. Night Shyamalan said that he liked Avatar.
He was also so I was like obsessed, and I have the DVDs, right, the actual box sets from like the old ones, of the anime and the cartoon. And if you watch the behind the scenes, he's on the DVD box sets from the early 2000s. Like M. Night Shyamalan is on there doing interviews talking about it and all that stuff. He talks about all the different martial arts and stuff. He's in all of those, and that's before the film came out. So like he's on those old box sets saying how much he loves Avatar, and then the film ended up being a dumpster fire. Yeah.
Because his style is very different to what the show is.
To be honest, I think if we had have had... If Akira had have been done when it was meant to be done, i.e. before Thor: Love and Thunder, I think it would have been... He would have probably done...
There would have been hype. There would be super hype.
Well, I think it would have been done really well because that would have been just after he'd done Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, where he's shown he can do something other than comedy.
Yes.
But I think now he's been so ingrained into that Marvel style of comedy that if he does adapt, if Taika Waititi does adapt Akira, he's going to adapt it and add comedy elements.
He's going to make it quippy like Marvel.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It's a wait and see kind of situation.
Yeah, it could go either way. Like
I do not have faith in that anymore.
Yeah, it's a shame. But I mean, like, to be honest, Akira, as a live action, has been stuck in production hell for like 30 years.
It is a cursed production, allegedly.
So, yeah, like, it doesn't surprise me that it's not looking too good again. But yes.
Just enough with the live actions.
Yes, stop it.
Leave it to the professionals.
Yeah, if you want a live action, get a Japanese company to do it. And then... Yeah, but just not Netflix. Just don't let Netflix do anything anymore because they stop. Just no. You're not allowed anymore, Netflix. You're not good at this. It's been proven.
At least Alice in Borderland is finished now. There shouldn't be another season because there is no more work to go off. So please do not do another season because then you'll ruin it. Because there is a spin-off manga and it ruins it. So let's not talk about that.
I know. Someone from Netflix is probably listening and they've probably heard that and went, ooh.
No.
Just don't do it. Bad Netflix, down. Where's the spray bottle? Alrighty. That's the news. It's all disappointing. And with that, let's wrap up.
Kawaii-Fi Radio.
Yep, that is where we're going to leave things for this episode. Thank you so much for listening.
Bit of a sour note, but then this is a rough decade.
It is a rough decade, yeah. That's what it's all about.
This decade is a can of cold beer.
No,
yes.
No, it's a can of sugar-free lime Fanta.
Yep.
That's so specific.
Yeah. Or Haribo sugar-free bears, like either or. In a can.
In a can.
In a can.
I watched a video of a man eating a 20-pound bag of those things, and he was 30 pounds lighter afterwards.
Well, I mean, yeah. Look, you put 10 pounds in and walk out. Yeah.
His screams haunt me.
Next time, it is time for our annual raunchy episode. This one is not for the kids. It is Valentine's Day lewd episode. We haven't decided what we're doing yet because we need to discuss and make sure it's balanced enough. But for context, last year we did interspecies reviewers, so yeah. Look, it's
for the cultured.
The culture.
Allegedly.
Apparently, yeah. Now, if you have enjoyed what you'd heard, we'd love you to hit that subscribe button, join us for future episodes, especially if you are over on YouTube. Hit the like button too, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'd love to say we're creating monthly anime-focused videos, but we're not at the moment. But there should be one this month to do with Birdie Wing, because that's well, we gotta. We gotta. Or we'll die.
Yeah.
The big golf mafia. The Perth's big mini golf mafia will come after us. Now, if you would like to support the channel, we do have a Patreon where you can get access to the pre-show for $1 a month. And that, is normally an extra 20 to an hour episode every fortnight, depending on how silly we're feeling and how many of us there are on that each episode. We've noticed actually, like for every additional person you add to an episode adds about 20 minutes to the length of the normal episode.
We do try to control ourselves when we're, on the actual show.
No.
We do not on the pre-show.
No, but we do share extra content such as episode outtakes, video extras, show updates, and of course the pre-show, and occasionally a little segment called How It Really Ended, which is the non-edited end of the podcast with us normally talking trash afterwards. So if you can afford to support us, we realise it's a bit difficult at the moment, it would be greatly appreciated. And obviously there's all the Kawaii-Fi community stuff, socials, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Discord, TikTok, which is being very neglected for good reason. Actually, Tifa, didn't you have like your most successful TikTok the other day?
Oh,
you posted it at
Day
midnight.
ago. Yes,
What was?
So it was on the Studio Ghibli Howl's Moving Castle collaboration with a designer brand called Louise, and it's their third collaboration and final collaboration. And I happened to be awake. I'd come home late from work, and I saw that a Japanese website had posted all the images of the whole catalog. So I was like, oh, this is a good idea. I'll quickly put this up on TikTok and say something about it. And I did, and it's like 350,000 views. And
Oh.
wow. I gained, I think, like 600 followers or something, and it just went off. Last time I had success talking about the Jujutsu Kaisen Dolce & Gabbana collaboration, because, high fashion and then anime, that's kind of like an area most people don't talk about, but I like talking about because, things like JoJo's and stuff take super inspiration out of...
All right, Kawaii-Fi is becoming a fashion brand as well.
Yeah.
Buy our Kawaii-Fi
So,
t-shirts. They're cheap and nasty, and they're from, I don't know, Redbubble? No. No, if we ever do release t-shirts, we'll be making sure they're actually good quality. I don't want any of that cheap Gildan sprung cotton that immediately goes hard after one wash. It drives me insane with that.
Yeah.
There's so much good artwork on t-shirts that get stuck on those terrible shirts.
That's true.
So,
that is true.
if you are in Australia and you want some good anime merch style stuff, T Fury, I think it was? No, it's not T Fury.
They the one that you always buy yours from?
No, yeah, it's not T Fury. They're in a Melbourne-based company, T-shirts.
Quick Google.
Yeah, I can't remember, like, Threadheads.
Oh, Threadheads.
Threadheads.com.au.
Yeah.
They do ship international. They do graphic t-shirts, hoodies, and more. And it's actually really good quality. They've done official collabs with Sonic as well. And they've got just lots of really good stuff. We're not sponsored by them, but maybe someday, because I literally exclusively wear their shirts when I'm doing videos. So they're a good bunch. They're a good bunch. So yeah, check them out. That's the word from our sponsor. That's not our sponsor. I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is there really anything else we need to talk about?
Unless you want to plug NordVPN.
NordVPN, Nord Shadow Legends. So look, that's where we will leave things. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time,
watch some anime.